Hi guys, my name is Stephanie Fair and I'm the Technology Facilitator at Butler High School, and this quick video tutorial is how to get data from Canvas and what you can do with data. So real quickly I'm going to go over the different types of data that you can pull from Canvas, among other things. We have Canvas Analytics, course statistics, individual student data, assignment data, and quiz data. So I'm going to kind of go over each of these and talk about the possibilities of them. Be thinking about your own classes and what you can use this data for. So to begin with, you're going to need to log into Canvas and select a Canvas course. Each Canvas course will provide different analytics based on the student's interactions and usage for your course. So I'm in a Canvas course, Chemistry Spring, and I'm sitting right on their homepage. On the homepage, on the far right-hand menu, right below choosing your homepage, there is an icon for View Course Analytics. If you have your screen on Extend Screen, you'll find this at the bottom of your homepage. So when you click the course analytics, it will provide data of the entire course as a whole. It will show you activity by date, and if you hover over each of these, it will tell you exactly how many participants, how many page views for those particular days. You can see activity by submission very quickly by color coding. It can also tell you how many submissions were on time, missing, or late. You can hover over each one to give you a percentage of that information as well. If you come down to the third graph, you get your grades, and if you hover over each one, it will tell you the assignment that was graded, the high, low, and median average real quickly of your class. So this is really great data for using it when you're having a post-conference with your administration and you want to talk about your Canvas usage. This is a really good indicator of when your students are posting, what they're posting, and how successful they're being. Here at Butler, we're trying really hard to increase student usage outside of the regular school hours. So in the evenings, after school, on the weekends, making sure that students are engaging in their courses beyond the classroom walls. Once you go below the graphs, then you'll start seeing your student names. And for each student, they're alphabetical right now by last name, you can see the number of page views they've completed, the number of times they participated, the number of submissions, whether that was on time, late, or missing, and their current average. Remember, their current average is based on the items that were graded and submitted in Canvas only. And if you notice for each of these, you can change your sorting from alpha A to Z to A, and then that would change whether you saw the students alphanumerically differently or which students were not participating, which might be interesting data in and of itself. If I want to drill down even further, I can actually click on each of the students' names, and then it will give me an individual student report that will show me what the student is doing in the class. And I can quickly scroll across to see each of my students and what they're doing. So maybe if you're going to do individual student conferences, this will be a great page to pull up to talk about why they're being successful or not successful in your class. So again, it's going to give you the same information you saw, but it will show you that individual student and what they're doing in the class. So clearly this is an active student in the class. They're actively participating. You can see communication both by the student and back by the instructor. You can see their submissions, which if you hover over each one, it will tell you what that submission is and whether it's missing, on time, or late. And then if you keep coming down, it will go through the student grades and what they scored on it versus the whole class. So those are the individual student view, which you can find from people as well as from the class statistics, the course statistics, or the whole course statistics page. You can change it from graph view to a grid view to see it by date. So maybe you want to see if an assignment you posted had more views and more actions than others. So that's how that would change. All right, we're going to go back to this class, and instead of looking at course analytics, we're going to look at course statistics. So to find course statistics, you will go down to your settings menu on the left-hand side. And once you're in settings, across the top, Actually not across the top, on the far right hand side we'll have one for course statistics. So course statistics is slightly different from course analytics. It will give you a running total of what you're doing in this class. So perhaps as a teacher you want to see how many assignments or discussion posts or active students, things that are going on in your class. So this will give you a quick visual representation of what you're doing. Maybe this will show you what areas you need to include more of in your class. And you can come across, if I want to see what assignments I have, you can see what types of assignments your students submitted and what the greatest submissions were and why. So obviously in this course we're having the most submissions with quizzes, and we have the least submissions with a website URL. So depending on what you're doing in your class, this will provide some interesting data as for a teacher. If I come over to students, I can get a log of who's most recently logged in. So for example, if I did make an assignment in my class that evening, or maybe I assigned extra credit and I said the first 10 students who logged in my Canvas course get that extra credit, this is a quick and easy way to find out what those first 10 were when they logged in. Maybe I want to see if the kid's actually doing the work in my class. This is a quick way to do it. And then finally, file storage. As you know, you're only allotted so much file storage, and so it can kind of tell you where you are with your class and where you need to go. So we've looked at course analytics, which you find on the home page of your Canvas course. We've looked at course statistics, which you find in your settings. And we've looked at individual student view, which you can find either by clicking on the individual student under course analytics, or you can find it in people by clicking on each individual student to find that information. Let's look at assignment data and quiz data. Again, I'm back in my Canvas course. So for assignment data, I'm going to click assignments. And then I'm going to get all my assignment lists. Now, unfortunately, I consider this one of the weakest areas for data, although there is data to be had. So when I come down, I want to find an assignment, an actual assignment, not a discussion or a quiz. Remember, all of those could be posted under assignments. We'll look at quizzes separately in a moment. So if I click an assignment that was given, I'm not going to get much except for I can download submissions to see how many did submit, and I can also open it in SpeedGrader to find that information. Remember also in SpeedGrader that you have the option to download all your submissions or individual submissions, which would be great because then you have these that you can use as examples with students in the future. So you can post up examples of student work. But other than that, and then in your gradebook, you'll get some data as well. Remember, your gradebook will post directly to PowerSchool, and it will also export as an Excel spreadsheet, so then you can manipulate that spreadsheet. So you might want to export it as a CSV file and then manipulate the data so that you can show your data to see how many students are submitting the assignment. But those are the two easiest ways to get individual data for assignments out of Canvas. Finally and lastly, we're going to look at quiz data, which is perhaps my favorite data to pull out of Canvas because it gives us such good information. So I will click on any quiz that a student is taking or has taken, and I get quiz statistics, moderating the quiz, and a SpeedGrader. So I love quiz statistics to use actually with my classes themselves. What it will do is it will do a mimic of that course analytics and actually give me data just on this quiz itself for the students and how they did. The reason why I love quiz summary is that I can post this up in class and it will give me information that the whole class can then break down together and then use to further assess what we need to do as a class. So in this quiz, the average is 87, the high score was 100, and our low score was 30. And we've got our standard deviation and the average length of time that my students took it. If I'm going to use a timed quiz, this is great because then it tells me how much time I need to put on those quizzes on average. It will break down by question how the students did. It will tell me which percentage answered correctly. If I want to hover over all these, I can actually pull out the students that got them correct. By clicking 79, it will tell me that. but I can post this up with my class and they can just see that 79 got them right, and so on and so forth. And we can talk about why students got questions right and why they got it wrong. If it was a misleading question, if they got down to the last two answers that were correct or incorrect, and so on and so forth. As a teacher, I can go further in and look at student analytics to see which students are having trouble and item analysis. So let's do some student analysis and then item analysis. It's going to take a minute for both these reports to be generated, but it will allow me to look student by student to see how they did on the quiz and whether or not they're being successful or not in my class, or they need maybe perhaps some remediation. Again, these files are going to come out in CSV files, which will open in Excel, and then I have to look at them individually. It will provide me all the data of the students, what they answered, whether or not it was correct or incorrect, and then I can manipulate this data. Okay? Furthermore, I can come back and I can look at the item analysis. So Canvas will generate for me each of the questions that were given to my students and how the students answered them and what percentage they were getting correct and incorrect. This is so great for going back to our PLCs to look at what students are getting right and wrong based on the questions. And again, it depends on the question bank and it depends on how the questions were set up. But it's great information. All of this is. And I love it because, like I said, I can use this in my class and provide data with my class without calling out individual students. So these are just some of the ways that you can use data within your class in Canvas. The nice thing is Canvas is doing this for us. So take advantage of this and leverage the data for your own means.